Hey cats, EDDBUD here, back with another running shoe yay or nay for you. 4 recently released or soon to appear shoes under the spotlight. Is it going to be a yes or no in terms of me picking them up for review? Today we've got the BROOKS HYPERION, the CLOUDBOOM ECHO 3 from On, the Asics Kayano 30, and last but by no means least the Kinvara 14 from Saucony. Let's get to it, people. Furnishing you with my feelings today on these 4 new running shoes. Will I be picking them up for review or not? This isn't me saying that I think the shoes are trash or treasure. You know, you don't really know that till they're on foot, but it could be that there's another reviewer out there that's going to do them more justice than little old me. Okay, let's roll with it, get to shoe number 1. It's the long-awaited reboot, or return I suppose, of the BROOKS HYPERION, but no tempo this time. Finally here, though now it's just called the HYPERION. The shoe certainly fits the mould though in terms of a minimalist approach with a lower stack than most of the modern day equivalents. We have a nitrogen infused midsole here. Now I know there's been a bit of a bone of contention between Puma and Brooks about sort of nitrogen infused foam, but that's what we got here, guys. It does look a bit like some of the midsoles that we've seen on some of the Skechers shoes, I suppose. The BROOKS HYPERION is set to release for 140 smackaroonies, so that's 140 quid here in the UK. I think that's about what the original cost me when I picked it up in 2020. I think that was just before the start of the lockdown, or at the very beginning of all that period. I remember running some really good miles in that one around about that time. Some great runs actually in that beast. Quick and nimble, very low weight. I remember it had a good amount of bounce and response there. Just a really nice ride. No specific weight yet on any of the websites, but I can see the same hallmarks here of the original. Very thin upper, less bulky midsole, and a sleek rubber application on the underside. There does seem to be a tad more rubber actually here in terms of depth on the pictures available so far. Maybe that'll improve grip a little bit, though I do see some little holes there, the midsole poking through. We didn't have that on the original. It could mean some cheap travel for some stones that are knocking around your local area. So it's not a given that that's a distinct improvement. Check the colour names out here on these though, people. Direct from the Brooks website, we have Gecko Green on this one, plus the Oyster Mushroom too. Animal and food related running shoe colourways are all good in my book. So it's an absolute yay for me on the BROOKS HYPERION. I really enjoyed the first one, so I think it's got the attributes that an EDDBUD likes. On to shoe 2 for you. We have the CLOUDBOOM ECHO 3 from On. Is it On Running, or are they just called On? I'm not entirely sure. Now, it's a bit of an odd name for a super shoe. It's a bit of a mouthful, I suppose. Apparently a very soft midsole foam here, made from the brand's super foam formulas. We have a carbon speed board, of course, because carbon plates are just old hat now in 2023. You've got to have a speed board. Does sound a little bit like a diving board, has to be said. We have cloud tech here, though I assumed that was like the holes in On running shoes, but that must mean it's bouncy, or it's like you're running on clouds, something like that. It didn't feel like that when I ran in the Cloud Monster at all. Felt like I was just running on a piece of balsa wood, I suppose. Now, they have got a more conventional upper on the CLOUDBOOM ECHO 3. That's a good thing. I couldn't stand the overly technical weird lace loops and glued on pieces that we've had in previous models. Now, initial reports of this shoe suggest it's very, very soft, and it's the best on running shoe so far. It should be at the price of £260 here in the UK. I mean, that's getting up there for the price of an Alpha Fly, way over the Vaporfly Next Percent 3, so I mean it's got to be good for that price. It's got to kick some serious running shoe butt. I mean, it's more expensive than the Endorphin Pro 3, the Adios Pro 3, the Primex Strung, the Metaspeed Sky Plus, and so on and so on. It's more expensive than all of them. They have placed the price of the shoe there pretty high, it has to be said. Does it warrant it? It's a bit of a gamble, I've got to be honest, people. I really have my doubts about this one. I'm going to see a lot of hype about some shoes, but 260, I don't think I'm really prepared to gamble that much cash. I can pick up like a couple of daily shoes that people are perhaps interested in and test those out for that money. Maybe even 3. Apparently there's silicone on the laces which stops them from like coming undone, and the shoe adapts to your running style. But I think I'm going to remain on the fence on this one till I've seen some more reviews and people using them out in the wild. These are testing economic times for everybody. If you think I'm being wrong about this, people, then do drop me a message in the comments. I'm going to say nay on the CLOUDBOOM ECHO 3 from On for the time being at least. If you're enjoying today's video, people, please hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up like. That really helps us out. Dankeschön. Shoe 3 now. It's from Asics, the Gel Kayano 30. This one's just dropped. I'm hopefully going to be able to go and test the shoe out on foot with Asics in London this week. It's a staple shoe, isn't it, for Asics? The Kayano brand, or model at least, has been around for 30 iterations. Almost as many as me. We've got those continued stability hints in the shoe, but hopefully a slightly lighter package overall. Once again, Flight Foam Blast Plus is here in the midsole, though this is their eco version. Apparently that features 20% bio material. I'm not entirely sure what that means, or what it is, what could be in the shoe, but apparently that's going to make it better for like impact protection, a little bit firmer like we saw in the Nimbus 25. Luke Skywalker's just looking after that one for me for the time being. I have perhaps incorrectly viewed the Kayano as an impact protection model rather than one for all-out pace, though it does seem at least I'd categorised the shoe into the right place. That's where the manufacturers kind of hinted about its intended use. 40mm in the heel on the Kayano 30, and then 30 in the forefoot. 10mm drop, the sample weight of 303 grams, so that's a little bit more than the 290 grams that we had in the sample size of the Nimbus 25. I think that hints at the specific use case here. Perhaps if you do need that stability in that kind of arch area, then you got it. Pure gel only used here in the rear of the shoe. It's encapsulated now within the midsole foam back there. I wonder if Asics could like hollow out a certain section of the shoe back there so you could see it. I think when you got tech built in there, people want to see that stuff, a bit like you get in the Air Max models from Nike. We have here a different material in the arch area of the shoe just to firm things up in the right place, add that stability if you need it. It's an interesting model. It's one I'm keen to understand as to where it fits into the Asics shoe lineup for 2023. We got a little bit more cushion there without the sacrifice of weight these days. EVA just a little bit sort of hard and firm, I suppose, compared to pretty much everything else we've got. So I think that makes it a slightly easier choice for me to say yay on the Kayano 30 from Asics. Just wish you could see the gel. Now they've kind of refined it, made it a bit more exciting and interesting. It's hidden away. Okay, shoe 4, last on up for today. It's the Kinvara 14 from Saucony. So, loads of viewers have been asking me about this one, though I have to say right from the off, I don't think I'm too keen. This is supposed to be a lightweight shoe and features some similar tooling to the soon-to-be released Kinvara Pro. But we got less stack on foot than that Pro version, and none of the Power Run PB material that we see in the Endorphin line and that Kinvara Pro. From all the comments I see about the Kinvara, it's a firmer, more responsive daily ride, perhaps more on par with the Rincon from Hoka, or even that Mach 4 and 5. There's very little outsole rubber here to increase the weight when we're contending with different surfaces. That might be a concern to some of you. Actually, come to think of it, it sort of reminds me a bit of the New Balance Beacon. Do you guys remember that one? That was all midsole foam, just extended to the outsole with a couple of little bits of rubber. The upper doesn't look all that dissimilar to the current Endorphin Pro 3 with that fishnet-like material full of holes. It's certainly a lower stack from the norm though here in the Kinvara 14. Yes, 31mm in the heel and 27 in the forefoot, making for a 4mm drop. That could be a little low for some people to contend with, especially when we're talking about an EVA blend midsole. That might be enough to turn you away from this shoe completely. Though they have topped it with a Power Run Plus insole. I really do like that material, just provides a little bit more step-in comfort, and it has some good durability about it as well. Saucony have opted for rubber only in the lateral side of the heel and the medial side of the toe here, perhaps in a bid to lower that weight even more, but they could have achieved that by using Power Run Plus in the midsole, as they have done in the Triumph, I suppose. Perhaps they could have done like a cut-down version of the Triumph, although I guess that's not massively far off like the Sinister. As such, I think this is probably a shoe I'm going to leave on the shelf for the time being. I've tried many an EVA only shoe out there. It just feels like time has moved on, especially at this price as well, where you could pick up something like the BROOKS HYPERION, which has got a better tech in the midsole, and it's about the same price as well. I think the BROOKS is very slightly more expensive. I don't think the Kinvara 14 is something I need right now, so it's going to be a nay on this one. Let me know if you think I'm wrong though, if this is a shoe you're really excited to see. Perhaps I've got it wrong. You never know, it does happen from time to time. My wife tells me every day. Okay, that's all 4 shoes for today, people. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Musical interlude time for you. Alright, a great band for you today, full of sort of energy, drive and propulsion and weirdness as well. That's the ultimate combination. Go and check out Too Much to Ask by Cheekface. It's got a great album cover as well, with the dog and the tennis ball. I mean, what's not to like about it? First track, When Life Hands You Problems, just goes at you. You know, straight for the jugular. I really like the vocal delivery and the style here. Really interesting kind of deadpan sort of voice, but the guy's got loads and loads of words and syllables into every single line. I Feel So Weird is another winner. This one's got some really chuggy kind of guitar riffs, really simple drums. One of the lyrics says, "The difference between me and a dog is that I'm taller." I quite like that. You know, I've often thought of myself as a much taller cat. I pretty much do the same things. I sort of try and sit down, lie down for as long as I possibly can to recover from sort of running these sort of short bursts of energy and action, you know, during the day. And then you're sort of resting, getting ready for the next one, the next day. I really love the very sort of precise production here as well. But there's lots of space too, and you can hear the words, which are really, really weird. Go and check this one out, guys. You will not be disappointed. Cheekface with Too Much to Ask. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, but also give the thumbs up, like a click. It really does help us out. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you